You also noted a global decline. But of course, dito naman you also noted na that was due to holiday lockdowns in many countries. But dito sa Philippines, we ended the year with Christmas season. I don't know how you want to call that among Filipinos kung may lockdown talaga. Then we entered January with big religious festivals and so on. And therefore, in the past weeks, we went back to 2000. That was certainly higher than when we ended. So how do we square the first month of the Philippines with the good news from the rest of the world?
Well, like many parts of the world, our lockdown is kind of different. So with that said, I really don't know if we are really in a total lockdown similar to other parts of the world where they are more aggressive at that. And at the same time, they allow their economies to open. Ours is, I'm sure we all know already the different classifications that we have from ECQ to GCQ and so on and so forth. And well, just to put it bluntly, we really don't have we don't have a stricter lockdown lately. So it's more of a free-for-all. That's the first. The second thing is that the number of cases that we've been seeing lately are actually regional. If you look at the national capital region, more flat. As a matter of fact, our reproduction number in the national capital region is much lower than the reproduction number nationally. And the reason why the national reproduction number is much higher is that it's being driven by the regional data. And the first parts of January, we saw the Cordillera Administrative Region having higher numbers. Towards the middle of January, it was Central Visayas that was taking over, which is still the same case currently.
So what do you think is driving the numbers down globally and excluding the regions in the country? What do you think are also stabilizing the numbers in, say, NCR perhaps, or in many metropolitan areas in the country?
That's a perfect question. Even I've been wondering why the cases globally have been going down. But if I trace back the lockdown scenarios during the holiday season in the other parts of the world, they're more aggressive, and they started it also towards the winter season. And they're actually prolonging, many of the countries are prolonging some of their lockdowns all the way until March. So the non-essential businesses are being asked to close. If you will see, most of the infections are actually down in the countries with the highest cases, like in the US, in Spain, the UK, Mexico, and India. India is a perfect example. Look at their number of cases from 100,000 just down to 10,000 a day. And the US also saw a very dramatic decline in the number of cases. I don't know if it's with respect to the new administration or actually the fear among the Americans that the total numbers have been devastating because their death tolls have exceeded 4,000 in a day for a while.
Yes.
Now
Some people are, yes.
Yeah.
Some people are surmising that that this might be natural immunity.
Oh yeah, that's
kicking
another
in.
thing.
Is that possible?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's possible. And also the fact that once we talk about variants, no, and we know that the virus mutates the virus shifts over a period of time, especially when they get transferred from people to people, and more people actually get it. There are two things that can happen, and the most plausible is that the virus probably weakens on its own. So while more people get infected, it may be also a fact that it might not be equivalent to being a deadlier form. So that's one.
Oh, that's reassuring.
Yeah, because that usually happens because maybe a lot of us have already built some form of immunity, considering the fact that about 10% are asymptomatic.
Doc,
Yes.
are we, let me see if I'm getting this right. Are we seeing
Yeah.
good news here? Is this something to be happy about? Na mukhang, if I'm getting it right, na mukhang o posible na we're developing some sort of natural immunity or that the virus is getting weaker. Am I getting it right there?
It's possible that some of us have had the virus already, but we do not know that we've had it. Especially,
Yes.
particularly in areas with high endemicity, like the UK, for example, or the United States, or Spain, Mexico, India. So, because of the very high numbers, it's possible that the spread also was very high, and that you have to you have to add the fact that not everybody was tested.
Yeah.
So some of them may have had
They have had
the
the
disease.
virus.
Yes, it was mild and it just disappeared from their system. It did not become very severe anymore. And so
And
they
what
have
about
partial
the, yeah,
immunity already. Yeah.
yes. And what about the vaccine rollout, for example, that's begun in the UK and the US? Do you think that that may have contributed already to the decline?
Another excellent
Does it happen that fast?
Yeah, that's
I
another
just want-
excellent question, which I was listening a while ago to the other interview, and I was making the comment that I don't think we can reopen the economy in the same way as they can reopen the economy in the US or the UK very quickly, because if you have to remember, we have to remember that the clinical trials for all of these vaccines required 2 doses.
Yeah.
But there's only one vaccine actually that is being rolled out as a single dose, and this is the Johnson and
Janssen.
Johnson vaccine.
Yes.
And that they came out with their data only a few days ago. So they announced the data, and while it looks very promising, it does not seem to be as promising as it would be in the South African variant. So, we go back to the problem of, all right, so most of the vaccines, that if not all, no, all of the vaccines that are being rolled out are 2 doses. And all of the 2-dose vaccines that are being rolled out have endpoints. And their endpoints, they did not end on the first immunization.
Dose.
They ended on the second dose, and they saw that the clinical efficacy endpoints, there are 2 clinical efficacy endpoints. No? The first one is non-development of clinical disease, and the second one is non-development of severity. So yun lang yung dalawang endpoints. So,
So
you
hindi
don't...
transmission.
Yes. So there's no data on transmission. There's no data also on herd immunity. And it's going to be very difficult to do the 2. Okay? So yun lang yung dalawang endpoints. Which means that if we believe that, if we follow the 2 endpoints in the clinical trial, then that means it would take the second dose and 2 weeks after the second dose before the vaccine would kick in. It's the same thing when I immunize kids with the regular vaccines that they have. I always tell the parents, because the parents tell me, my child got exposed to this virus yesterday. If you give the vaccine, is he not going to develop any illness to it? And I tell him, well, you're just going to get the shot today. But he was already at that incubation period. He was exposed already. So it's possible that the vaccine will not work.